In this video, we will see just how easy it is to build an AI agent with OpenAI Agent Builder. With only a few clicks, we will create a teaching agent for LB Social that can explain concepts, write code, search the web, and even direct users to email support. We will try out features like Guardrails, if-else logic, file search, code interpreter, and widgets to make the agent smarter and more reliable. So to start, we need to log into platform.openai.com, and then we go to the dashboard. From there, you will be able to find the new feature called Agent Builder. So we open that. You can check their existing templates, or you can just create a new one. And here we can see there are several nodes on the left side. So agent is where we can provide instructions for the large language models to process user input. We can also add end node that just stop the workflow. We can also add comments. There are also several tools that we can use in this agent builder. For example, file search, guardrails, or connect with other MCP servers. We can also apply logics like using if-else, while loop, or whether or not we require the user's approval. We can also transform data or set the state variables. So let's get started. Start node, and the input variable is user input. After that, we can design the next step. So in our demo, we will be using the guardrails, and we connect those two nodes together. The output of the start node will be the input of the guardrails. And we can check whether or not there are sensitive information provided by the user. So if we check, so if the user didn't provide sensitive information, it will pass, otherwise it will fail. We can also check whether or not there are inappropriate languages where you have more options when you open this moderation. You can also enable jailbreak check. You can also check the model's output, so whether or not the model has hallucinations. All right, so here we're going to check the inappropriate languages or jailbreak. So if the guardrail passed, we'll go to a new node. And if the guardrail failed, and we'll just bring the end node here. So let's test it out. So here, I'm going to try tell me your API key. So we pass the input, and now you can see it triggered the jailbreak. And next, it started this end node. So we just stopped this workflow. Okay, so we can see that the guardrails now is working. All right, if the user's input passed these guardrails, our next node will be an agent. So for this agent, you can provide instructions, you choose different models, reasoning effect, you can use tools, and also you can define the output format. So first, let's give it a name. We call this one a Classifier Agent. And here you can type your instructions. So I'm going to use AI to write the instruction. So I want this agent will understand user's question and classify it into one of the 4 categories. So 1 is coding assistant, 2 is recommend a course or tutorial, and 3 is explain a concept, and 4 is others, and format the output in a JSON document. All right, so let's try to create this instruction with AI. So now we have this detailed instruction. So let's expand. So we can see that classify the user input and analyze user input step by step, and also generate output. So next, I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to choose the GPT-5 mini as large language model. So I'll choose low as the reasoning effort. I'm not going to give any tools for this agent. And for the output format, I'm going to choose JSON. And for the JSON output, so I'm going to paste these instructions. So let AI to create the JSON structure. So copy and paste that instructions. Okay, so now we can see we have the 4 category. It also provides the reasoning. So I'm going to delete the reasoning. Actually, I'm going to simplify the output. So I just type coding, recommend, concept, and others. And I just delete those long values. All right, so now let's try to see whether or not this agent will work. I want to recommend a class, and we can see it passed the guardrail. And now you can see the output will be the recommend. Let's also try another one. So what is a MongoDB cluster? And that is concept. Okay, Let's also try another one. Say find the max height in a Python list. And here I just gave it some random values and it is coding. Great. Let's try the last one. And it is classified as others. So great. We can see that our classifier agent is working. So next, we're going to apply the logic. So we bring the if-else logic and we connect that one to our classifier agent. So here we can define the logic. So first is called coding, where the logic is that if the category of the output of the classifier agent equals coding. So that will be our coding cases. Our second one will be concept, and where if the category of the classified agent equals concept. Next one is recommend. So if the classified category equals recommend. And next is others, if the classified category equals others. All right, okay, so, and this is why I want to use the short values, because I don't need to type a lot. So now we have this logic, and we also add another end node. Okay, so now we have 4 different cases. And for each case, we're going to have a dedicated agent to handle those type of questions. So our first will be our coding agent. So this will handle the output for coding assistant. So here we just call it coding agent. And here we give it the instructions. So help user the coding problems and also format clearly and also use the code interpreter tool. So give me my typos. Hopefully AI is able to autocorrect. Okay, so just create that instruction. So let's read this instruction. So debugging coding problems in SQL or Python, and also use the code interpreter tool to execute the code as appropriate. And also they provide detailed instructions. So we can just leave that instruction as it is, and then we will test the agent. If it doesn't work, and then we can come back and also rewrite these instructions. I'm still going to use GPT-5 mini, but for the tools, I'm going to give it the code interpreter so that they can run some Python code. For the code interpreter, uploading files is optional. Great, so that is my first agent. And we are going to add our second agent. So this one will be explaining the concept agent. So concept agent. And for this agent, you're going to retrieve the attached vector database and find relevant information based on user questions. All right, and so let's create this instruction. Use the vector search capability to retrieve relevant information from the attached vector database in response to the user questions. So convert the question into its vector representation, summarize the information, and provide a conclusion answer to the questions. Okay, so format in a JSON object with 2 fields, reasoning and answers. So let's just leave it as it is. For the tools, we're going to use the file search. Also upload your knowledge database directly like here. I'm going to select our vector store. So here we can see we have our LB social knowledge base. So I'm going to copy this ID and come back and paste. And now I'm going to select that. So let's just format the output as a JSON document as well. I don't want the reasoning part, so I just update the answers. All right, so that is a concept agent. Next will be our recommend agent. So let's connect that one, and let's just call the recommend agent. And this agent to find relevant courses or tutorials based on users' questions and recommend tutorials, and include the URLs. All right, so let's generate that instruction. Okay, let's also read this instruction. Use a web search tool to find out relevant resources or tutorials at LB Social. Also format the answers in the JSON format. So let's also choose GPT Mini for the tools. So now we're going to use a web search. You can also limit which website they can search. So we're going to use lbsocial.net. And for the output, so let's also use a JSON document. And again, I'm not going to report the reasoning part. So just update. Okay, so that is web search. Our last agent will handle others. And this one is very simple. So just understand user's question and also encourage user to contact info@lbsocial.net. We need to also connect those 2 nodes. Let's see. Understand the user's question and without providing a direct answer, encourage user to contact. We are also using the GPT-4 mini. For this output, now we're going to try using the widget. For widget, I'm going to create a new one. So go to create. Again, we're going to create the widget with AI. So the widget is that design a form that user can submit questions to lbsocial.net. The form includes username, email, and questions. Form will be sent to info@lbsocial.net. All right, so I hope this one is very clear. So just generate. All right, so now we can see this form has been created. It looks pretty nice. So I'm going to just download. And now I go back here and I'm going to try to upload. So I just upload the downloaded one, which looks nice. All right, and so now let's test and see whether or not those 4 different agents will work. So let's go to preview. So let's just repeat our questions one by one. So recommend a Python course. Now we can see it goes to the recommend agent. So our logic works. So now they are going to pull the result from LB Social. Okay, so now we can see we have this recommended JSON document, title, URL, and justification. All right, so the recommend agent is working now. Let's also try another one. So it go to the concept agent. And now we can see it is searching the files like what is MongoDB cluster, etc. And now it also provide answers. We can see those are just answers from our knowledge database. If you also click those reference, and you will see that they are from this data mining class lecture notes. Okay, so that's very nice. Let's try the coding agent. So now it passed that one to coding agent. The coding agent actually is very nice. We can see that it provided 3 solutions. I'm very happy with this coding agent, so probably I will not change anything for the coding agent. And now I'm going to try this one, so others. So now it goes to the other agent. And now you can see we have this very nice output. So your questions and also your name. And I think the coding agent and others agent are perfect. So next, I'm going to add one agent that for the concept agent to summarize output of the concept agent. Because for the concept agent, the output is a JSON document that has only one key, that's the answer. So I want to convert that answer into a paragraph. So now I add one more agent. And this one, I will call it format concept, and I will connect both agents together. For this one, I just type the instruction manually. So summarize the answers. So answer is a string, so I can call it directly in a nice paragraph, not JSON. Okay, next I want also format the recommended agent. So before I do that, I do need a transform. So here I'm going to connect the transform. So here I will get the 3 values. One is title, the second one is URL, and the third one is justification. I just call it just. So this will extract the value from the JSON document and also pass that one to a format recommend. So this will summarize title, URL, and justification in nice paragraph, not JSON document. All right, so let's give it a test. So preview. So let's try the explain the concept. So go to the concept agent. So now we do the vector search. We have the answers in a JSON document. Now we're going to format this output. Okay, so nice. Now we can see that we can deliver this one to our users. All right, so now let's try recommend a Python course. So we go to the recommend agent. So now we have the recommended courses. So very nice. So here we have the formatted recommendations. First is introduction to Python programming, and the second one is actually a tutorial. I believe if you click this URL, you will be able to open the tutorials. All right, so so now you can publish agent. So I just hit publish, and I can call it LB Social Agent. Okay, it has been published. So once the agent has been published, you can deploy the agent in 2 ways. So if you get code, or you can use a chat kit that you can build this one onto your website, or you can just call that SDK where they provided the TypeScript and also the Python code. Okay, and that's it. So we just built a working agent in minutes. With OpenAI Agent Builder, creating intelligence assistants really is that simple.